warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Today, I want to present about the weaknesses that exist in Alvin's expenditure cycles and the suggestions for improvements. So, the first weakness that exists in Alvin's expenditure cycle is raw materials are removed from the storeroom only upon written or oral authorization by a production supervisor. This will lead of over and overproduction of specific items. So, the suggestion to improve the weakness is the authorizations need for document of material requisition that contains the production order number state of issue and the bill of material, the part number of quantities of all necessary raw materials. Any subsequent transfer of raw material throughout the factory are documented on move tickets, which identify the parts being transferred, the location to which they are transferred, and time of transfer. Any movement and usage of raw materials need to be used barcoding and radio frequency identification RFID to take the products to facilitate the counting of the goods, which provide an opportunity to improve the efficiency and accuracy of these raw material handling activities. Next, the second weakness is the storeroom clerks do not keep records for goods received or issued, so there is no perpetual inventory records are kept. This will cause inaccurate inventory record that can result in stockouts that lead to low sales or to carrying excess inventory that increase costs. So, to reduce the risk of these problems, the perpetual inventory method should be used to ensure that information about inventory stocks is always current.
The third weakness is the storeroom supervisor match the quantity on hand against a predetermined reorder level. The supervisor enters the part number on the material requisition list that is sent to the accounts payable clerk. The improvement that can be made is by preparing purchase requisition. Purchase requisition is the most proper document to enter the reorder number of item description, quantity and price of each item requested from supplier instead of material requisition. The other weaknesses is the accounts payable clerk prepares a purchase order for each item on the list and mail it to the supplier from whom the part was last purchased. Multiply order from the same supplier may lead to the high cost and receive a low quality of goods. The improvement that can be made for this weakness is the company cannot select a supplier by just referring to the last supplier. A proper evaluating supplier needs to be done periodically to meet a preferable price, quality of materials, and also to ensure the dependability in making deliveries. A list of potential alternative suppliers for each item also need to be maintained in case the primary supplier is out of stock of a needed item. Next weakness is upon receiving. Clerk count all items and verify with the quantities on the bill of lading only. Bill of lading in verifying the counting is not proper document to be referenced. This may lead to the problem where quantity received was different from the amount ordered, and maybe they receive a damaged good too. So, the improvement that can be done is when a delivery arrives, a receiving clerk needs to compare the purchase order number referenced in the supplier's packing slip with the open purchase order file to verify that amount of goods accepted was the right amount. And they also should examine each delivery to make sure the goods received was in a good condition.
Information technology (IT) has become one of the most important assets and a critical tool in ensuring the sustainability and development of business. IT can help improve the efficiency and effectiveness with which expenditure cycle activity are performed, and IT development can be integrated in this control procedure. Firstly, supplier use barcode or radio frequency identification (RFID) tag their product to facilitate the counting of the good. For example, receiving door worker inspect the good and use an online terminal to enter information about the quantity and condition of item received. Replacing barcode with RFID tag eliminate the problem. Once a purchase request has been approved, the system searches the inventory master file to identify the preferred supplier for the item. The system that creates a purchase order that is sent to the supplier via EDI, Electronic Data Interchange. EDI used by purchase or customer to submit order electronically in a format compatible with the company's sale order processing system. Using EDI is one way to improve the purchasing process. For example, EDI reduces costs by eliminating the clerical work associated with printing and mailing paper documents. When electronic fund transfer (EFT) payment is authorized or a check is printed, the update the account payable, open invoice and general ledger file. For each supplier, the total of the voucher is sum and the amount is subtracted from the balance file in the supplier master file record. Enterprise Resource Planning (ERP) is a system that integrates all aspects of an organization activity that help business manage the important part of its business such as accounting, financial, marketing, human resources, and so on. ERP software application can be used to manage product planning, part purchasing, inventory, interacting with supplier, providing customer service, and tracking order. This ERP system is best implemented in control procedures. Last but not least is barcoding scanner that used to the product to facilitate the counting of the good, reduce the time and cost of inventory and improving the accuracy of perpetual inventory.
Here, I will describe about the documents in this cycle. Firstly is a purchase order. Purchase order is a document that formally requests a supplier to sell and deliver specified product at designated prices. It is also a promise to pay and becomes a contract once the supplier accepts it. Secondly is a receiving report. Receiving report is a document that records details about each delivery, including the date received, shipper, supplier, and quantity received. Next is sales invoice. Sales invoice is a document notifying customers of the amount of a sale and where to send payment. Next is a packing slip. Packing slip is a document listing the quantity and description of each item included in a shipment. Next is a picking ticket. Picking ticket is a document that lists the items and quantities ordered and authorizes the inventory control function to release that merchandise to the shipping department. Next is bill of lading. Bill of lading is a legal contract that defines responsibility for goods while they are in transit. Next is a credit memo. Credit memo is a document that approved by the credit manager authorizing the billing department to credit a customer's account. Next is a remittance advice. Remittance advice is a copy of the sales invoice written with a customer's payment that indicates the invoices, statements or other items being paid. Second last is a cash flow budget. Cash flow budget is a budget that shows projected cash inflows and outflows for a specified period. Lastly is a back order. Back order is a document authorizing the purchase or production of item that is created when there is insufficient inventory to meet customers' orders. That's all. Thank you.